Hello and welcome back. Today we are finally, I know some of you have been waiting for this ever since I maybe told you. I don't actually know if I ever told anyone. No, wait, I did. We're gonna mod this. You might see that I've moved the little panda down, exposing the two holes that this had before, and I've also already drilled another hole here. We're gonna move this jack up here. I was gonna do that before I started recording, but now I'm gonna have to do it after. And yeah, we are gonna do some mods. Now, it was pointed out to me by e-bike adventures that I had done a mistake. And first I just want to say, because I don't know if I've ever said this before, but usually when someone comments on a video or I get a notification that someone's subscribed, I check out them. It might sound a little bit creepy, but you know, I see your name, I see your icon, and I you know, I press and see if there's anything there. Sometimes there is, and sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes I get to listen to really cool music. Some of you have your own channels, you know, where you do stuff. And e-bike adventures has some really weird videos. So I just want to tell you that if you're, I can't actually explain really what it is he's doing because I don't really understand it, but it's actually kind of funny. I watched a couple of his videos and I got myself a couple of good laughs. So I want to say that if you're into laughing, because I don't really know what else to call it. I mean, I don't want to spoil his thing, but check him out. I'll leave a link in the description below, because it's actually kind of funny. So, yes, go do that. He pointed out to me, anyway, that I had made a mistake. And the mistake was that I removed the two volume controls, but that the two volume controls that I removed were mix controls. And I gotta be honest with you. I usually buy things, and then I play around with them, and I experiment with them, and I try them out. I usually build some sort of thing before I make the videos, and I try things out, and I play them, and yeah. It might seem like a shock to you, because the videos are unscripted, and I do throw things around a bunch, but I do actually try to plan out the videos. And I just, I built the thing, the pedal that we're gonna go back into now, and I just looked at it and I thought, you know, I don't need 4 controls where 2 of them aren't doing anything, and I mean, I barely need more than 1 control. I mean, obviously I do, because the whole thing that I think is cool with this pedal is that you have 2 different speeds and 2 different timings, basically. And yeah, anyway, I'm being super sincere right now when I'm telling you that I really thought that I were removing 2 volume controls. I don't know if it was just, I don't know, but they're not volume controls. They are mix controls. They let you decide how much of the effect is going through. So it's basically bypass, not really, because you get a weird dampening effect, almost like a tone control. But it's basically bypass if you move it all the way, and then it's full blast if you move it the other way. And the way I wired this up when I removed that control was full blast. And I'm probably, for my own use, not really going to use this in any other way than full blast, to be honest, because it's the full blast isn't that much of a full blast to me. There are other pedals that I feel do similar things to this, and its full blast is more crazy. But anyway, so because I wanna, I looked around a little bit online, which I probably should have done before I did the first video, but I don't really like to watch other people's videos. When I'm gonna experiment with something, I feel like I should do my own experimenting. At least that's how I make things fun for myself. Which I hope you all can understand. Obviously, it's, you know, it's not something new to turn these into pedals, but it's something new for me. But anyway, I looked around online a little bit, and this time it was because I feel like I want to do something with this that is a little bit different, that you haven't maybe seen before. And I also want to take the opportunity to show you something and teach you something. Now, I don't have anything to teach you that I feel like most of you don't already know, but if you're a beginner or if you, I don't know, maybe someone is what I'm trying to say, will learn something. So, we are going to have one control here, I think here, might be there, but here, for the mix of both of them. I was thinking that maybe it would be really interesting and fun to have a mix for each, and you can have like almost no effect on the first board, but then it goes into something that had more effect, and you could like mix the volumes and things like that. But I also feel like, do I need to have a pedal that does that? I don't know if that's interesting enough to make a bunch of controls. And another thing is, I also feel like at some point you have to ask yourself, like, is this pedal easy to use? Is this pedal something that I can do something fun with? And I just feel like it's too much to have two controls for both mix controls. Also, it gives me the opportunity to show you something else and do something different than anyone else I've seen. And so we are going to add this potentiometer right here, which is a double potentiometer. I don't know if you can even see it, but there it is. And as you can probably tell, it has 6 legs, and that's because it's basically 2 potentiometers, but with one control. So you move the potentiometer and you basically move 2 controls at the same time. Now someone might ask, can't you just have one pot and add 2 wires to each leg? And the answer is maybe. Maybe you can. But then the boards would interact in a way that might send the signal into something else than it should be sent into. And it might cause some sort of interference. I haven't tried, so I can't tell you that it will. But this way they will be separated from each other the way they're supposed to be. Because, I mean, you could obviously ground them to each other because they both just need a ground. But you should probably not cross wire too many things, you know, willy-nilly, or Liam Neeson. But anyway, so yeah, we are gonna add this just to stay on the safe side, but also just because then you get to see maybe something different, maybe something you haven't seen before. I don't know. To me, this is one of those things that is sort of obvious, but I'm trying to not have the mentality of things being obvious, because we are all on different places and different pages, and yeah. It was also pointed out to me that you could put one of these wires between, it's called C, it's right there, C15 or C16. There was a little bit of a discussion on the other videos on which one, but it's just a question of there being 2 different kinds of boards. If you look at the board and the in and out clip-on things are white or black, you'll have 2 different kinds basically. But it seems like it's just a question of whether or not you, if you have the white one it's 15, and if you have the black one it's 16. Yeah. Anyway, if we put a wire there, and I'm gonna go into it so you'll see, we can make a feedback control. And there we're gonna have 1 feedback control as well. You could obviously have 2 feedback controls, 1 for each board, but we're just gonna have 1 feedback control. And just to make it more weird maybe, or make it different, and this is where you can do different options than I am doing, and you could have as many controls as you want to, or you could do some stuff differently than me. But I'm thinking that it would be kind of cool to only have a feedback control for the first board. Remember, we have 2 boards, one goes into the other. It's sort of almost like a pedal board. And I'm thinking it would be kind of cool to have feedback, but on the first board, so that feedback can go into the next board, basically. Now, obviously, if you want to have more controls, you could add 1 on each, and then you could decide if you want, you know, feedback going into the next board, or if you want your board go into the next board and that board feedbacking or something. I feel like I've done a lot of videos where I cut in the middle of a sip. Kind of weird, actually, when I think about it. It's become my go-to thing. Anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. I think that might be cool. I mean, I hope it's gonna be cool. It might not be cool. Maybe we have some other mods to do. I got another comment, which both was kind of annoying, maybe a little bit of a troll comment, but also pointed out something that is actually true, and that is that this is noisy. And I'm gonna look into this a little bit more, and we'll come back to it, and I'm gonna try to find out where you can put a capacitor or something to filter out some of the noise, just like you can do on the LM board. I kind of want to just find yeah, I haven't spent the time to figure this out, but you could most likely find a place where you can put a capacitor and filter out some of the noise. It is more noisy in the video than it is in real life. I didn't really notice it until I was mixing the video afterwards, and I don't like to change any of the sounds so you get what you get, basically. And I could have reduced the noise a little bit in the last video, because it's a little bit more noisy in the video than it is in real life. Yeah, as I've said before, this is not really a demo channel, and I don't feel like I should, you know, manipulate the sound. I feel like it's better that you get to hear something and it sounds crappier than it actually is, than you get to hear something and it sounds better than it actually is. And that's just because I feel like then you will be pleasantly surprised by the whole thing, and you'll not come to me being like, why did you show me how to build this and it sounds crappier than yours? You'll come to me and be like, I built one and mine is better than yours, which I think is much better. I'd rather you make something better than I, because then my video works. I don't know. I've rambled on way too long now, and I'm sorry. This intro was supposed to be super short. Anyway, we're gonna jump in to wiring this. Oh, god damn it, I forgot. I forgot to explain why we drilled another hole. We're also gonna add another jack, and that jack is gonna control the feedback as well. I thought that that might be a cool thing. Maybe some of you want to plug in an expression pedal and control the feedback with, you know... anyway, this intro is way too long now, so let's just jump into wiring this thing up. We have a lot of wires to put in place, so let's do that real quickly. Okay, so first off, let's work on this controller right here. The first thing we have to do is we have to, or we don't have to, you can have two ground controls if you want to, but I'm gonna bend this leg here over to this leg here, like so. Because both of those are going to ground anyway, and I've grounded everything together anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Might as well. It will be easier for me to just do it that way. So with a little bit of solder like that, we can put it into place. And then we'll just add a wire here as well, like so. Looks hopefully a little bit neat. And then we can just pre-tin these other legs. And we have to pre-tin our wires as well, which I hope I've made you all understand that you have to do by now. I feel like I've built enough thing for you guys to know that you have to pre-tin. And we'll add the green ones to the middle here. You don't, obviously you don't have to make the middle ones the green ones, but I think you should color code things so that you can keep track of things. So we make the middle green, at least on this pedal, and we make the out here, or the in, maybe it more is, but anyway, we make that one yellow. Then we can keep track of our wires, hopefully. So now we have something that looks like this, and you can just think of them as two different potentiometers. If we look at the board again, and I'll take this other one that I'm experimenting with. Actually, this is the one that I used to realize that this was a mix control. If we look at the back here, we have three legs here. You unsolder this spot, and then you put this spot in, and that first leg there, that's the ground, so you can see, it's the ground. And then the middle one is the green, and then the outer one on the opposite side is the yellow. And then these two will get connected to the other board. And if you have the boards grounded together with each other, which I already have because all the grounds go together anyway. Then this one, you just need to put in one ground wire basically. But if you're doing something different than me, where you don't ground the boards together for some reason, then you might want to have to use 2 ground controls or wires. Anyway, I'm going to strip. I'm ahead of myself a little. I'm going to strip these back and pre-tin them. Okay, so here we have the pedal and everything looks like a rat's nest, but I'm going to put the controller in there, in that hole, and then I'm going to pull the wires to where they're supposed to go, which is, for example, right here where the controller used to be, and right there where the controller used to be. It's a little bit hard to see, the wires in the way. Right there. You already know where to put them because we're just switching out one for another. The only thing you have to keep track of is that, because it doesn't really matter which one is connected to which of these, but you have to keep the rows separate so that you don't mix them. So don't put these 2 wires to one board. Don't do that, because as you can see, they're from different rows. Put these 2 together and put these 2 together separately. I hope you understand. I'm just going to put this controller in here and assume that you guys are cool and know how to do this, because it's just replacing the pot that you already have. You guys already know this. And for a lot of you guys, you might not actually even want to do this because you weren't as silly as me and removed a controller for something without checking it first. Fixing your own mistakes means that you must do mistakes first, right? So the next thing is we have a pot right here, and as you can see, it has 2 wires coming off of it, and we're just gonna put this into the hole, and it's a mess of cables, so it's a little bit fiddly to see, but I'm just gonna fiddle it in here. Okay, so it's really hard to see in there, so I'm gonna show you on another board. But we have 2 wires right here, which I hope you can see. And the blue one that is coming out here, that's connected, because the pot is seen from the back like this. It's connected to the middle leg here, and we have this white wire. And that white wire is connected to the last leg right here. And first thing we have to do is we have to pull this blue wire all the way over to the volume control here and feed it through this entire thing. I'm going to try to make it as neat as I can, which it's too many wires, but I'll feed it through here. And if you look at the pot and we pretend that this is the pot, we're going to solder it to the middle leg. But we're going to solder it to the right middle leg because we have 2, and we need one middle leg that is the first board. We don't want to accidentally solder it to the other, because then we will get cross weird things going on where one pot and one is connected to the other. And to be perfectly honest, I don't exactly know what is going to happen, but I think that everything is going to fall apart. But it might be cool. It might be some kind of extreme feedbacky thing that happens that is even greater feedback. I don't know. But I'm not going to test it because I don't think that's what's going to happen. To be honest, I think what's going to happen is that everything falls apart and that the circuit fries or something. If any of you want to test it and let me know, that'd be cool, because then I don't have to do it. And the other wire here is getting pulled to the first board, which is this one on the underside, and it's gonna be too hard to show, so I'm gonna use this one. Okay, so if you look at this board here, and it's probably kind of hard to see, but if you look here, but you can go from this pot and 2 over on the capacitors over here, you can see that it says C15 or 16 on this one. And on the opposite side here, right there, because it's super tiny to see, but there's a little bit of solder on each side of them. And on this side right here, we connect a wire. And that's the last leg wire here, the one that is being problematic. That's the one we're going to connect all the way over on the other side. So it's probably kind of hard to tell, but it's connected right there. And this one is super fiddly to get in there. And if you have a tip like I have, which is one of these broader, flatter ones, you're gonna have a terrible time with it, and you should probably have multiple tips, which is something I don't have and probably should have. But anyway, right there it is, and it's all good. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, and the last thing, is we're gonna wire up this jack here. Now, if we take another pot, because it's too hard for you to see that pot in there, it sits like this in there, right? Yes. On this leg we have a white wire connected, and on the middle one we have a blue connected, right? The way I just did. We're gonna add another wire on both of those. So an extra blue wire here in the middle, and an extra white in the middle here, like so. And then we'll continue. Okay, so here we have the two wires coming off the thingamajig, the pot. And if you have a different jack than me, don't worry, because all the jacks have the same connections. They just, you know, they might look a little bit different depending on, yeah, they just look a little bit different. And I'm using this jack for two reasons. One is because I have it laying around, and the other one is because when you look to the side here, it will be kind of easy to understand that this is the input, this is the output, and this is the expression pedal, because it looks a bit different. So, one thing I have to tell you about this is that these two wires, it doesn't matter which one goes to the ground and which one of them goes to the tip. I have a middle leg here, but we're ignoring that because this is a stereo jack. And if you use your pedal and you feel the effect is coming on when you're pressing it down, that means that you wired this correctly, unless you want it the other way, but I don't think there is anyone who wants it the other way. And if you feel it's the other way around, so this depends on what kind of pedal you have, unfortunately. If you feel like the effect comes when you pull the pedal up instead, then you just need to go back in and switch these two wires around. The tip of the cable to your expression pedal, it uses the tip and the ground, the sleeve and the tip here, for moving a potentiometer. So they just replaced the movement of the potentiometer from the pedal into the wah pedal, or whatever you want to call it, the foot pedal thing. So when you press it down, you're slowly moving the potentiometer inside. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a second, because we have one last thing that we have to talk about that, but I have to bring out my pedal for that. So anyway, I hope this all makes sense. I'm gonna try, which I'm probably not gonna manage to do, but I'm gonna try to fiddle in and move this around in here so that I can put the lid back on. Because now we're done, and here's the pedal, and I just need to go and find some control knobs. Here's the pedal now, and as you can probably tell, I had to replace the knobs because everything was taking too much space. But here they are, and you can move them around. I like the strat knobs better. It made the pedal look a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more special, but there it is. And here you can see the jacks on both sides. Now, we have to talk about something super important for this to work. Thing is, I'm gonna plug in my expression pedal, which is this one, and it's the only one I have. And it doesn't work the way that is optimal for this. As I've said before, you're basically just moving the pot from being controlled up here, this one, to being controlled in here and just sitting in there and being moved. So basically you're just moving the pot from one place to another. That's basically all an expression pedal is. So if you want to, you could use this that I showed you here as a way to just move your pot. Basically just connect some wires. But the problem is, not all of these are made the same thing, or the same way. This one doesn't have a pot that you're moving. This one actually has a lever that presses down on a switch, which means that it will work, it will still work, but I won't have any in between. It will go from nothing to max Yes. And that's all you're gonna get with this expression pedal. And I don't have another one, unfortunately. I realized that I probably should have gone and bought one for this video, but yes, I'm just gonna press it to show you that it works. Okay? And you're gonna get a little bit of a weird clicking sound in it, because it's gonna go from nothing to everything, and it's gonna be like, which might, yeah. But that's not this pedal's fault. It's this pedal's fault. And yeah, I can't really do anything about that except switching that pedal out. But hopefully you know what kind of expression pedal you have, and you've made sure that you have the pot kind of one and not the switch kind of one. You can obviously just open it up and take a look inside and see if you have a pot or not. That's all I have to say about it. I hope you understand. We're gonna go and play this and experiment with it and move the pots around a little bit and just see what happens. That's the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button. And if you're new here, but if you've also already subscribed, weird way of saying it, don't forget to press the like button. Again, thanks so much for watching. I hope this was something, something positive at least. And I'll see you guys in the next video and all of that. Yes, ring the bell for notifications and follow me on Instagram. I really hate self-promotion, but I have to do it. Yes. Until next time, stay awesome and cool and go and build this pedal or something else. Build something. Build a pedal. You can use the expression jack part of this video to build any pedal. So, I mean, you could add it to anything. Yes. Yes. Anyway, until next time, stay awesome and cool. And go and build this pedal. I've already said that once. Damn it. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go. This did not go well. God damn it. Okay, so here is everything. The expression pedal and the lovely panda. So, here's my true bypass signal. And then we can press this, and we should get some sound. And with this one moved all the way down, you can hear there is a difference. I hope you can. That if I play a chord, so if you wanted to, you could use this as some sort of muffle thing, which I don't know. And then we can move this up and just get a bit of delay. And then I feel like if we put this to max, we get more background noise. So maybe a good idea could be to put it somewhere around 1 o'clock or a little bit less, and have this as a subtle thing more. You still have some noise in the background, but at least a little bit less. And then we can obviously change the timing here. We're not going to go much into that because these controls are the same as they've always been. So yeah. And then we have this control, and we can just bring in some feedback. to do with this one. So now this, you know. And then obviously we can press this one down, so let's just play a chord. Yeah, so there you have it. I personally don't really use feedback that often when I'm doing something, but it could be nice to have just a little bit, because it adds this reverby thing to it. So for example, if I do it something like this, and then just move this in a little bit. I can find that sweet spot where it's just giving me enough to like muddy up and thicken up this thing. Something like this.